What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Tacho here, and we're back for some more Fire Emblem Heroes. Now today what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a showcase for the legendary Seliph. Now your boy got really lucky on that banner because I was only sniping on blue and hitting the stray reds that showed up, and lucky enough we managed to pull your boy Seliph over here. So I was really happy about that because this guy, on paper, his build looks a little bit awkward, so really, I feel like the only way to gauge how good this guy would actually be to use him myself. Now, right before we get into everything, I just wanted to bring up this artwork. Like, this guy's artwork has to be the sickest artwork in the entire game right now. He just straight up looks like a Belmont, like he's from Castlevania or something. And I guess it would be closest to Richter, right? Because Richter had the blue suit. So, pretty badass stuff. Seliph is an awesome unit and has awesome artwork. So his weapon, Virtuous Turfing, is going to grant him res up 3, and then if the foe initiates combat, or if he's below full HP, he's going to inflict attack and defense -6 on that foe, and then he's gaining back 7 HP for every attack that he does. And yes, if he does a double attack on the foe, he will be healing 14 HP in total. So every single hit that he does is just 7 HP back, and honestly, that's even sicker than you might think. Like, reading it on paper is like, oh, he just gets 7 HP, big deal. But no, man, like, you guys, unless you've actually used this guy, you have no idea. Like, the healing, I think, is probably the best thing on his entire base kit. Like, you have no idea, because his defenses are so good. He's got 37 defense and 32 res. I was lucky enough to pull plus res minus HP as my IVs. And low-key plus res minus HP is actually very strong on this guy. Because, I mean, the extra res and then the -6 attack he does from his weapon. I've also given him Mirror Stance to gain some extra res as well. Like, the foes can't even touch this guy. They're doing, like, minimum damage tops. And then whatever little bit of damage they did, he's just going to heal it right back with his weapon. So this guy is a king of sustain. Like, he's the sustain god, I could say, at this point. Now, I'm going with Ignis as the special attack on him. Now, a lot of people were saying Miracle would be awesome on him, and I had thought that at first too, but I actually did give him Miracle, and I tried it for a bit, and it really only came into play like once every other battle, so, or even less than that. It was like 1 in every 5 matches Miracle actually did something, and all the other times, it was just there as a filler, pretty much. So I feel like Ignis is a little bit more solid, and we will explain why that is once we start the show. And his unique B-slot skill, Holy War's End, is basically just quick repost and desperation built into one for the enemy phase, so long as his health is above half, which is pretty much going to be all the time thanks to how much healing this guy actually gets. So let's go ahead and hop in, and we're going to go ahead and do the run with this guy. We're going to show him off in Arena Assault. So, without any further ado, let's just take a look at this bad boy in action. So, first fight, we are up against this guy, Retro, here. Oh, he's got Legendary Julia, and he's got the Kid Marth. Okay, this is going to be awesome. Of course, Legendary Julia with Light and Dark is going to be a pretty tough unit for Seliph to bait. That's his little sister, of course, and because she has Light and Dark, I'm not going to be able to gain my bonus stats from Legendary Eliwood, who I'm running here to get bonus doubler. But let's see how we do against Kid Marth. Okay, he almost got the one-shot on me. Of course, that Kid Marth has effective against cavalry on his weapon. Now, that's a really rare thing to have. It's only really units that have the rapier and then units like Micaiah that have effective against cavalry. Typically, it's one of the least common effective types of damage you can see. So that's already a good thing in Seliph's favor because he doesn't have to worry about getting hit by effective damage in most cases. And of course, being a tank like he is, he's going to want to try to avoid effective damage as often as he can. Alright, so right there, we went in and we initiated on Julia to get the finish instead of trying to bait her. It is still a little bit dangerous, I will admit, trying to bait Julia, even with a tank like Seliph. This guy has to be the tankiest horse unit in the entire game, pretty much. There's really nothing else like him. Okay, I don't know what this guy is doing, but he's got double +10 Legendary Alms and then double +10 Fallen Tikis. Okay, this is going to be a good one because, of course, null follow-up on Alm is one of the ways people were saying you could counterattack Seliph. But, I mean, look what happens. We still end up finishing this guy off. that one had lull attack and defense. This one has null follow-up, but look, we did 52 damage, and that legendary Alm is made out of paper, pretty much, so you just kill him in one hit anyway. It doesn't even matter that you get the double attack. So Seliph's weapon does inflict -6 defense on the foes, and then he has an attack super boon with 41 base attack. Like, this guy does not hit at all like a feather. He's going to be hitting you like Tyson, like one-shot knockouts on a lot of the defensive units that typically like to, or a lot of the offensive units that typically would run null follow-up in the first place. So, in order to really get the edge on Seliph, you would have to have null follow-up, and then you would have to have like crazy defenses to actually survive his first attack. And there's really not too many units that end up doing that, so Seliph is definitely taken after his father's name of being the horse god. Okay, we got another legendary Julia here, another brother-sister showdown, and then we also have this legendary Roy that has close calls, so let's see how Seliph actually fares in terms of damage against the unit with close call. Roy is going to get the maximum damage reduction pretty much, because he's way faster than Seliph. Seliph is not necessarily a fast unit. Okay, he's still doing 0 damage. I am on a defense tile, but we ended up getting enough damage to get the finish on him, so close call units, that's still not enough to finish off Seliph. And once again, I think I'm just going to go ahead and initiate on Julia here. Or actually, wow, okay, I decided to go for the bait here. Alright, 13 damage times 2. We are on the defense tile. We probably would have died if we were not on the defense tile. I forget how much damage reduction the defense tile actually is. So if anyone in the comment section is good with their calculations and math on this game, let me know if Seliph would have survived that attack from Julia off of the defense tile. Alright, Duma wants some too, but even Duma's doing 9 damage at +10 to this guy. That's pretty insane, man. Duma is super strong. We were not at full HP, so Duma was getting the +6 attack from his weapon. Like, that's, come on, that you gotta give it up for that. Seliph is being so underrated, man. He's one of the craziest tanks ever. And I'm so glad that I was able to pull him and actually try him out, because looking at his base kit on paper, I was thinking to myself, well, he's going to be good, of course, but, I mean, it's really hard to quantify just how good the healing from his weapon is going to be when you consider that most attacks are barely even doing damage to him. And then, if you think about it, healing 14 HP when he does a double attack, that's basically a little bit more than you would heal with Noontime anyway, right? So that's a healing special practically built into his weapon. And then at that point, you don't even need to run a healing special like Aether or something like that, so you're free to run a big damage special like Ignis on this guy. And of course, because his defenses are so good, Ignis is going to do some crazy damage. That's also why I'm supporting him with Brave Lucina here, so we can get the breath effect, and the foe's first attack is going to be -2 cooldown, and then Seliph's next attack is going to be -2 cooldown, and the final hit we get from End of the Holy War is pretty much just going to be an Ignis to the face. So I decided to go for the massive damage numbers on this guy as opposed to a healing special. The healing he gets from his weapon is already way more than enough, trust me on that one, guys. And we also have Leanne on this team to provide some cheeky +7 healing at the start of the turn to really combo nicely with Virtuous Turfing's heal. So pretty much, this Seliph is the sustain king. There's just like hardly any units that can really take this guy down, especially on a defense tile. Even Julia can't even beat me on theirs, so we're pretty much golden for the most part. Okay, but we're not able to double attack Julia, unfortunately, because she has Mirror Impact to also negate my follow-up from End of the Holy War. That's another skill that can really throw a wrench into this Seliph. So pretty much it's null follow-up, and then it's impact skills that you gotta watch out for with Seliph. Otherwise, though, I mean, there's really not too many things that can actually touch this guy, so he's gonna be really good in most situations. It's the same thing as saying that Fire Sweep and Dazzling Staff units, and pretty much anyone that negates the foe's counterattack, became useless after Null Sea Disrupt, because that's just not the case. We already know this. Not every unit is going to have Null Sea Disrupt, so all your Dazzling Staff and Fire Sweep units are still going to be putting in a ton of work. And that's the exact same way I feel about this Seliph. not every unit is going to have null follow-up or an impact skill to negate an End of the Holy War's double attack. So Seliph is just overall a super solid unit and definitely does not deserve to be underrated like he's being right now. So hopefully this is just giving you guys a little bit of an example of just how much ass this guy can actually kick. Alright, so over here, this is one of the instances where it would be way better to have Ignis as opposed to Miracle. Because Leggjarn, of course, gains buffs based on how many stat bonuses I have. And we're going from 13 damage to 54 there, thanks to Ignis. That's just insane. So, that's one of the reasons I decided on Ignis, because the super big damage that he's gaining from that is really just over the top in most cases, and he's going to finish off pretty much any foe in 2 shots with End of the Holy War's double attack. So, I thought that would be the way to go. Alright, I really have no need to bait this loot on a defense tile. I could have just gotten off it and we would have been fine, but I mean, I guess I wanted to go for the extra credit there. Alright, we will bait this Alm off of the defense tile though, just to reiterate once again that Alm is made of paper and we only need 1 hit to finish that guy off, regardless of him having null follow-up. And he's pretty much the most common null follow-up unit anyway, so definitely not too shabby of a showcase there. And this is going to be our final fight of the day. This time we're showing him off against Duo Alphonse, who is one of the bulkiest blue units in the game. And, of course, he's got color advantage on me, so let's just see what happens when the color advantage is a thing. Alright, 17 damage, and then we get 18 times 2, but we have Ignis there to turn 18 into 62 damage. That's just nuts, man. Ignis is so insane on this guy. Especially if you got Brave Lucina to just ramp right into it. Crazy how much damage he does, and then all of that healing, it's insane. Like, this Seliph is such a tank. I love it. Alright, so Surtur wants some, but we just popped him with Bonfire, or popped him with Ignis right there. And next up is Draug, who I don't like because he doesn't gain any extra damage from his weapon. Like, if he had effective against armor, that Draug would be so much better. And last up is Fallen Tiki doing absolutely 0 damage to our Seliph. So that's going to wrap us up for the showcase today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you enjoyed watching Legendary Seliph in action. I know for a fact I was blown away by just how good of a tank this guy actually is. And it's really nice too because we don't have any like super good horse tank units like this. There's been nothing like Seliph so far, and he also scores high enough to be used in arena mode because he has the 180 BST pair-up skill. So if you were to whale out and get this guy up to plus 10, he's going to be fantastic in arena mode. And he's just really good. I think he's going to be good in Aether Raids too, because really null follow-up is not super common in Aether Raids. Most people just go for like infantry pulse and trying to go for like one-hit kills with specials and stuff like that. So if you were to get Pulse Smoke on this Seliph and then run him against infantry pulse teams in Aether Raids, I think he'd do just fine. Like he's just so good on defense. So that's all for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching the video and supporting the channel. You guys really are just killing it with all the good stuff that you guys do. It's blown me away. I did not expect the channel was going to flourish this well. And that's all for today, guys. So, as always, this is your boy Tacho signing out. And I'll catch you all again on the flip side.